Again, with the recent developments, the Attorney General of the Federation of the Nigerian States, of course, who is the custodian of the law, has otherwise proven again that there is no justice in Nigeria, there is no fairness and equity. With the recent developments, withdrawing the terrorism or dropping the terrorism charges against the leader of the Mieti Allah is another pointer to the fact that is prejudice in the discharge of justice within the Nigerian system. Of most recent, you see how the case against Sunday Igbowu that was charged on terrorism and treason offense against the Nigerian state was withdrawn by the Attorney General, followed by that of Sowore, of course, which was withdrawn as well. The second one is the leader of the Mieti Allah case was dropped by the federal government of Nigeria through the Attorney General. The same Attorney General admitted that he's not aware of the Mazin Nnamdi Kanu trial. He insisted that only the court can address the issue of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. You begin to ask, which of the courts, the one he superintends as the Attorney General, why did he intervene over the case of the leader of the Mieti Allah by withdrawing the terrorism charges against the same person? You can see the double standards expressed here, and it's quite unfortunate that it is becoming more loud, very clear to all and sundry that injustice, of course, is being perpetrated within the legal jurisprudence, and this is unacceptable by any innocent humanity who believes in fairness, equity, and justice. Why is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu still being held under DSS detention? Even after several court injunctions that was ruled in his favor, the most pronounced one, the 13th of October 2022 or 2023, of course, that discharged and acquitted Mazen Nnamdi Kanu of all the camp charges levied against him. Yet he's been held behind the bars, he's been tortured psychologically, emotionally, and deprived the right to freedom, which is his fundamental right and inalienable right, as the case is. It is quite unfortunate, and it's becoming more pronounced that those who should be, of course, the custodians of law or justice, fairness, are the ones creating this dichotomy and disparity in the minds of those who, of course, observe them. We have watched with great disdain and disappointment the latest development, of course, of most recent happening within the legal jurisprudence within the Nigerian state that have created more doubt and fears, of course, in the minds of millions who are not happy with the latest development. How could you exonerate or withdraw a terrorism camp charges you fight against somebody and yet refuse to do the same to someone that was rendition, whose right was infringed or violated by the Nigerian state? And the Attorney General has the conscience, has, of course, the moral effrontery to tell us that this was done in the interest of justice. Justice for who? Justice from where? Justice perceived by who? It is quite unfortunate. There is no justice except it's being perceived by all. There is no justice except people see the justice and it's being perceived by all. If you discharge or withdraw the case against the Mieti Allah leader in the interest of justice, where is that justice for Mazin Nnamdi Kanu? Where is that justice for the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who was only exercising his fundamentally, of course, recognized rights according to the UN Charter of the Human People's the Human and People's Rights Charter. The right to self-determination is not a crime against any non-state. Of course, being a signatory to the United Nations Charter on Fundamental Rights of People and Humans. This is the only crime Mazen Nnamdi Kanu committed against the Nigerian case, which is never an established crime within the Nigerian legal jurisprudence. It is quite sad, quite unfortunate that it will be seen very clearly by the Attorney General to be partial and biased in his approach to service, his approach to judgment. Can he tell us the reason why Mazem Namdekanu case has lingered, even when up to Supreme Court admitted he was not guilty of whatever allegation that was levied against him? He never jumped bail, as affirmed by the Supreme Court, that it is only an attempt to his life that led him scoring for safety, which is, of course, a natural thing. But why is Mazim Nandekanu still being held down, still being suppressed, still being oppressed by the Nigerian government? Why the same Nigerian government, through the Attorney General, have set aside, have dropped the camp charges bordering on terrorism and, of course, treason levied against Sunday Igbohu, who happens to be championing the cause of Oduduwa nation, and Somore, that have accused the Nigerian government of injustice and unfairness. Yes, the Mieti Allah group that empowers his own kinsmen to procure and be armed to the teeth, which is against the Nigerian law. Yet, if they can set aside all these count charges and still hold down the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, this is a pure injustice and cannot be condoned. The Attorney General of the Federation should appeal to his conscience and to understand that whatever you do, of course, you will receive the reward. It's been written and been reckoned, of course, against you. The world is watching what is playing out. If truly that is in the interest of justice, now the only person that should have been considered in the interest of justice, fairness, and equity is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazen Namdekanu, because he has obtained several court injunctions, setting him aside and discharging him. The most pronounced is the 13th of October 2022. I mean 2023, where he had again an overwhelming, of course, victory against the Nigerian state, where all the terrorism count charges were dismissed and quashed by the Nigerian court, happy court for that matter, the appellate court. But it's quite unfortunate and very sad that he is being held down because the very reason that he is an able man, and of course should be killed and intimidated, should be suppressed and denied his fundamental right. Why the people who controls and owns is perceived to own the country, the Fulani race, of course, should receive pardon, even when it is well pronounced there are, of course, uh, activities within the Nigerian region where the supposed Fulani militias or herdsmen have killed and murdered, abducted several persons, and yet he, the leader, could be freed. Well, I'm not against him being freed, but the reality is I'm not in support of the injustice and the double standard life being expressed by the Attorney General. Well, that is my candid opinion, and I think I am entitled to express myself on this development that does not go down, of course, with all that sundry. It is quite unfortunate and very disturbing how Nigerian legal jurisprudence has been reduced to such a ridiculous state. It is quite disturbing, and that, of course, widen the gap of dissension, of disapproval, and votes of no confidence in the Nigerian legal jurisprudence.